back, YouTube, to UK PC Engine / Turbo collection update. Never done a collection video. First one. Thought I'd get this done in light of. Now, depending when you're watching this could be really old hat. But in light of the Turbo Mini, the PC Engine Mini, TurboGrafx Mini, whatever the fucking hell they're calling it, Mini launch, imminent launch next year in March. Thought, why not? I've not done this. So I've dragged all the crap off the shelf. The first time a lot of this has been off the shelf for years. And let's whiz through all these games that I've never played. And I'm not joking, some of these games I ain't never played. So don't expect in-depth review of anything. It's just literally more of a tool, perhaps, for me to look back on and sort of see which ones I have and haven't got, because it can get, you know, easily buy the same fucking game twice. So I'm not going to get too much into it, every single game. A little bit about something that I know about a particular game, and that's about it. I have got some Turbo games. So TurboGrafx, again, I'm not going to sort of go over too much of the intricacies and nuances of Turbo PC Engine collection. If you're watching this, hopefully you'll know the difference, and it can be a bloody minefield if you know what you're doing. But essentially, the TurboGrafx, or Turbo 16, is the American version of the PC Engine, for want of a better word. So, and again, usually, for me anyway, the ones that I'm buying in that region are the RPGs, because they're text heavy. But that's not a steadfast rule. Some just come at the right price and it's like, we'll have them, and others have just come up because they're just there at the right price again. And I believe, so starting off, I believe I think all of them come like this. They all come in these big boxed sort of cardboard boxes, which is rather strange. This is Bonk's Adventure, as you can see, all PC kit or PC Engine. But essentially they all come in sort of CD size cases. So within here is just the Bonk's CD. So very much like, see, that's all it is. It's exactly the same thing. Difference with the US releases of stuff, they have this little clip that goes across, whereas the Japanese one have a bit of foam. Evolution of the actual packaging, perhaps. And they have the wonderful styrofoam stuck at the bottom. So I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a psychological thing, you know. Back in the day, you want bang for your buck. You know, I remember like the old Ataris and stuff like that. They used to put like a sheet of metal at the bottom of the machine. Not because they needed it, because people wanted to feel the weight. They wanted to feel like they're getting something for the money. If you just had the CD rather than the big box, a bit like the Amigas as well. You know, Amiga games like oversized boxes, but they want to charge you 40 quid. But realistically, all you needed was a little tiny box with the 3.5-inch floppy disks in it. I think it's just a marketing ploy. You know, it's just psychological. So there we go. Bonk's Adventure. I'm not going to spend too long on these. Cosmic Fantasy 2. RPG, was this Neotopia? Was it called Neotopia? I can't remember now. Or is that one of the same game? Working designs, absolute badge of fucking quality there. Played a bit of that, to be honest, and I did play a bit of that. Can't remember, ages ago. Games that I still can't stop buying. Parasol Stars, Rainbow Islands. Story of Bubble Bobble 3. With HuCard you get no screenshot. With the Turbo you don't even get like the old, you know, you'll see anyway. But yeah, I'm not going to show you the insides, they're all there. And obviously for note, Turbo PC Engine games, the instructions are the inlay. You don't get extra ones, in case you're wondering. Blazing Lasers, absolutely cracking shooter. It comes bundled with the system, and I can't remember what it's called, Japanese version, someone will no doubt be shouting at the screen. Final Lap Twin, F1 Racer, very good game this one, Bloody Wolf. Think Commando on steroids, but sort of a side-scrolling affair. It's hard to explain, it's quite bloodthirsty as well. and for whatever reason, I don't know why I did this. I know where one of these has come from, the other one I have not got a clue. One of these I bought off Daz Co-Jones, the other one I don't know, but I have for some reason 2 copies of Dungeon Explorer, so it's not needed. This is what I'm saying about this video. You know, it's partly for my own fucking sanity, so I don't keep buying the same game twice, which was clearly the case there. But Dungeon Explorer is, as it explains, it's an RPG, very basic though. There's Dungeon Explorer 2, which is probably a step up from that one. As you can see, I'm not spending very long on these guys. So I'll split these into different categories now. So you've got your HuCards, your CD-ROM System 2, your Super CD, and your arcade. The arcade part, I think the arcade games, I don't know if they run into like maybe 8. I can't remember. Someone more who's got a bit more knowledge than me will probably be able to tell you. I've got some quirky little nuances here. Should we do this one first before we get on to... Yeah, we'll do this first. So I've got the Duo R, the PC Engine Duo R. That is fully modded, so fully modded region and RGB modded. So essentially what you have is... I'm not going to confuse people, because you're better off going to Google this yourself to get a better idea rather than listening to stupid old me talk about it. But basically it's iterations of the same PC Engine thing, but it evolved. So all I need for mine to play every single game is this card here, which is the Duo card. I'll show you on the back of one of the games. It explains it a lot better than I can. But basically you plug that into the HuCard slot, and that'll allow me to play any PC Engine game. Shove it in, obviously disc based, because the Duo R can play every HuCard, but it's in terms of the arcade sort of games. So different iterations of the PC Engine in terms of the hardware has its limitations, and how they got around that was to include these cards. So they've got the Duo card and there's the arcade card. Again, I'll show you on the back of one of the games, it'll explain it a lot better. But it can, like I say, it can be a bit of a bloody minefield. You know, people think they buy a PC Engine, a little tiny white box, and it'll play everything, or they buy the little CD-ROM that comes with it and it'll play everything. It won't. It needs extra oomph, needs extra fucking the actual kick. Hence the Duo R. Right, so we'll go. I think we'll go backwards on this because the HuCards are the bigger collection. We'll go arcade CD-ROM. I haven't got. I've only got 2 originals. This will explain it. So often we make John one MSX to go. He hasn't done a video for ages, John. He sent me this one, and the thing to note with a PC Engine, you know, in terms of like the Duo and stuff, there's no copy protection. You can just burn discs willy-nilly. And ages and ages ago, he sent me this. It's called Sapphire. Apparently one of the best shooters on the PC Engine. It is a copy. It's fake. Well, if you look at that disc, you'd be hard pushed to realise, but it's a fake. And then he sent me another fake, which includes a spine card, and this is a fake. It's a reproduction. Right, but what you've got in the back here, if you look, it explains it a lot better in pictures in terms of what you need to play what. So with the Duo, with the sorry, it's called the Pro, not the Arcade. Yeah, Arcade Pro. I knew it was called Arcade. It's called the Arcade Pro card. So if you've got anything less than a Duo, you need the Arcade Pro to plug into your PC Engine and your CD to play all the CD games. If that makes sense. You're probably better off Googling it. Right, I've only got 2 original arcade games. I'm sure there's only 8. Maybe, I can't remember, someone might be able to correct me. I don't think it's any more than 8. It might even be as low as 6 or 4. But the cheapest chips one that everyone sort of seems to have is Fatal Fury, or Fatal Fury 2. I think this is quite a common arcade CD-ROM. And again, with these, they're all CD. The good thing about the CD-based stuff, it is just literally a jewel case. So if you ever get any that have got a crack in them and they're cheap, just buy them. And you can just go and get any old fucking shite from the charity shop and swap the covers over. You know, the cases should not be a hindrance. One that I get to play. I haven't even played Fatal Fury 2, to be honest. From my mate Craig's here again, you probably hear his name mentioned quite a lot. Apparently it's got cutscenes. It's Strider. So again, arcade CD-ROM. Right, then we move to the Super CD-ROM. So we're going backwards, don't forget, we're going backwards here. We're going backwards in its life cycle. So, Super CD-ROM, step down from arcade. I think you could probably get away with, no, you probably still need the arcade, you would need the arcade card. I haven't played this one. I got, this is pittance. It was pittance on eBay, I think it was like £7. I looked on PC Engine Bible and it just basically said, even if you have a guide next to you to play this, just play it for the graphics. And it's called Legend of Xanadu 2. And from what I've seen, I haven't played it yet, but the screenshots and that, they're just exquisite. It's very much like, what's the Super Famicom one that came out the last, about the dragons? It reminds me of that in terms of its graphical quality. The next up then is another crazy era again purchase, Horror Story. I think it's Horror Story. I say it's Horror Story. Fucking hell. Arcade port. Bloody hard as nails, this game. I played this on main. Absolutely fucking rock hard. Probably the best version, some people would say. Redondo, Dracula X, Redondo of Blood on the PC Engine. This is due out on the Mini as well. So it'll sell. It'll sell. This one I have no idea where it's come from. It must come from a bundle. You get a load of these cat games. Cal 2. No idea, some dating game, no doubt. And not a bad port at all, this. Prince of Persia. Mine's got a little scuff there. Again, I can't remember. I must have paid pittance for this. But you can't go wrong with a bit of rotoscoping. Prince of Persia. Prince of Persia. Again, another one that I must have got from somewhere. Still in its creepy plastic thing from Japan. Power Golf 2. Oh my god. I should just take it out of this, to be honest. Because it looks absolutely terrible. It looks terrible sat in that. I'll sort that out now. What's this one? This is Bomberman. Oh god, it's like Puyo Puyo Bomberman. I can't remember what it's called now. I can't remember where I got that from. It might have been Steve Draw 333 Draw. I can't remember his name is now. Another one from Craig again. Forgotten Worlds, yet to be played. Is it 2 player? It looks to be only. No, I think it is 2 players. If that's what that means. Although I can only ever see 1 player on the screen. I think it might only be 1 player. A bit like this, the Master System version. Recent purchase from Craig. Double Dragon 2. I don't know. Yet to play it. Probably never will. Some weird RPG thing. I have no idea. This must have been bundled with some. Never be able to play this fucking thing. I know this is Dynasty Warriors. It's called something else, and I can't think what the name is over here. I remember seeing the arcades. It's like a side-scrolling beat 'em up, but on horseback. It's on a few things actually. It's on the Super Famicom as well. But I remember playing it in the arcades. It's quite good. Again, you've probably seen this in the recent purchase. Got to get some stickers off here. Gutzen Diner. 3D isometric sort of puzzle adventure game. Superstar Parodius, which is part of the actual. Well, I didn't know this until Craig mentioned it. This is part of the Superstar Soldier series, but set in the Parodius unit. This is a great. I actually have played that. It's a really good game. Really good game. One I haven't played. Side-scrolling mech shooter is Browning. I'm sure I got this from Scottish Alan. He sells Japanese stuff. Not to be confused with Japanese Alan, who is the same person but isn't Japanese. My god. We'll do, before we go on to the bulk of it, which is the HuCard, I'll do loose HuCards. There's nothing else than that. There's a few little quirky things, but they're just like copies and odds and sods that are not really worth mentioning. So, God, whenever I got the PC Engine Duo, I can't remember. I did a video called Holy Grail, and it is a Holy Grail for me. In the PC Engine, I remember seeing in CVG Mean Machines and just like gawping at it. Weirdly enough, gawping at China Warrior. It's just an absolute dreadful game. But the big massive sprites, Bruce Lee-esque, you know, oh my God, it blew your fucking mind. But ages ago, and he just still comment. Sean Horatio Van Basten very kindly, like ages ago, sent me this little wallet thing. It's just got a couple of stickers on it, but it just sets it off. It's like a little binder, basically like a card. It's a wallet binder. And at the time, he chucked in some wonderful, just loose HuCard games. I can't remember all of them. There's a few I can definitely remember. So we'll just go through them. Not something I really want to collect is loose cards. And they'll fall out. But there's definitely some here that I want to upgrade. And Soldier Blade is one of them. That I would love to get complete. Fantasy Zone I'd love to get complete. Darius, I don't really get on with Darius games. I don't really get on with many games because I'm shit at them all. I've got a few more here. Dragon Spirit I haven't got. Final Soldier, maybe we'll see. Gallagher 90. I can't remember what that one is. There are some Turbo games mixed in here. I'll show you them here. Yeah, China Warrior there. I mean, they're pretty much self-explanatory. There's a few. What's his name? Peach Boy games in here. I'm not sure what Crater Maze is. I think Crater Maze is a reskin of. It might be a Peach Boy game. I can't remember now. Clax is Clax. These are Peach Boy games here. This little dude here. Again, there's a couple in here. You got your Bombermans. You got your Night. Oh my God, original Bomberman is not. It's not the best version. I think 93's better one. That's Big Steve, Mr. Retro Rinlin. We've got a system card, Dungeon Explorer Japanese. I can't remember what that game is now. Is it like Kicks? Kicks, I think that might be like Quicks or Kicks. That's a baseball game. Forget that one. That's a system card. That's Dungeon Explorer Japanese, which is absolutely no good to you. Some nice Turbo games here. Speak for themselves. Don't need to talk over them too much. And two crackers. Well, one cracker definitely at the end here. Sidearms, and I can't remember what that one's called. I was called that one bloody Horror Story. So that is it for the loose ones. To say some of them definitely shooters. Horatio very kindly sent me, and I'm old and I forget stuff. Right, onto the bulk of the collection, which is probably this would probably be true for most people's PC Engine stuff. It's all the HuCards. Now some people might be wondering, Stu, with like, you know, the imminent arrival, and again, it depends when you watch this. You could be watching this 3 years after it's been released. But at the point of this video being made, it hasn't been released yet. PC Engine Mini. It may or may not be hacked. It may not be crackable. It doesn't matter. And maybe we'll sort of say, well, why are you buying them then if that's the case? You know, why aren't you emulating this sort of stuff? Because as a collector, it's not about just playing the stuff. It's owning it and seeing it and feeling it and touching it. I have no nostalgia at all for any of these games because I never owned them. But I remember seeing some of them in the magazines, and some people might sort of say, well, that isn't the same as playing it on main. But no, because back then it's about ownership. It's about having a game, and you know, some degrees saving up, you know, and the journey that's involved in going to purchase that game. Yeah, obviously in the UK that would have probably been, well, it would have been the pound stuff generally. So for me now, getting some of these games that I remember seeing and reading about, although yeah, okay, I'm not going to a shop, I'm going to a market, or, you know, unfortunately maybe eBay at some cases, but I haven't bought many from eBay I haven't bought any from eBay for ages. It's still that same thrill, that buzz. So the HuCards, like I say, it's probably the staple backbone of most people's PC Engine collection. Ninja Warriors, there's no point showing the backs because they're all very much akin to that sort of style. There may be one or two exceptions, but Ninja Warriors, not a bad conversion from the arcades. Anyone that remembers that in the arcade, 3-screen jobby, very good. You've seen the, was it a turbo version of Clax? I can't remember. Anyway, we've got the full version of Clax here, so that might be that is a duplicate. Power Drift. Now, I think if memory serves me memory serves me correct, this is probably one of the better versions outside of the 3DS that was ever released. An absolute belter of a game. I think every man and his dog's now bought this. I don't know if it's off the back of what I've said, but definitely Rob has. I remember I mentioned this to Rob. Holster's got this. It's Image Fight. Really good, old school, fucking rock hard shooter. I remember this as Paris Dakar, but is it Top Run? What's it by Gelco? I'm trying to think now. I'm trying to think when nothing happens. But half decent little into the screen driving game, that one. Afterburner 2. Haven't played it. I've got the loose HuCard for that, so that's a double. Can't remember what that's called now. Override. Don't know. People bash this. I play. I mean, let's say when I got the PC Engine, I went absolutely fucking nuts, batshit crazy buying these games up. And I still think this is a decent little arcade port of Vigilante. It's definitely better than the Master System one. And again, the one that was hailed as the all supreme. I think I watched Lawn Boy's post video comparing the potential fan-made Mega Drive port of this is Shinobi. But for its time, it was arcade perfect, as they like to sort of say. Talking of arcades, talking of perfect, well, not being perfect, but being absolutely amazed how they managed to do this, is the awesome Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition. How they managed to cram what they crammed into this game is mind-boggling. You know, the HuCard it's just for the RAM chips on it alone. No idea what this is. This looks like some sort of RTS type game. God knows. Wrestling champion wrestler. No idea. This is a Wonder Boy game, and I always forget what this is called or which one this is, but it's definitely a Wonder Boy game. Oh, it might be Dragon's Trap. I can't think. One's Wonder Boy Monster World, one's Dragon's Trap. Kadash. Kadash is a good arcade port. There is a little bit of text in terms of it, but I think you can get by on the Japanese one. There is a turbo version of this as well. Chase HQ. I don't think this is the best version. I think the Spectrum version is actually the best 8-bit. Because you remember the PC Engine is technically only 8-bit CPU. It's just the graphics and everything else that really bump it up. R-Type 1. So there's R-Type 1 and R-Type 2. Both have 4 levels each. So from the arcade you can literally just play the second one and jump ahead of the levels if you really wanted. There is an R-Type Complete on the CD. A lot of people bash that in terms of the graphics, the sound quality. This is Peach Boy. This is the only real version that you can properly play, because a lot of the Peach Boy games are RPGs. Now this was a heads up from Mark, what's his name? Mark Hornsborough. Oh my God, was it 2 years ago? 2.5, 3 years ago? And I remember him saying the only Peach Boy game you can actually play is the one where he's got the sword, and this is a platformer. You can usually tell if you're at an event and you see a Peach Boy game and it's like 20 quid. If it's 2, 5 or 10 quid, it's shit. It's not this one. But you got to remember, it's this one here, and it's volume 32. It's a platformer, and it's really good as well. Shoot 'em up, Final Soldier. Superstar Soldier. So these, I speak to Craig here again, and he's like, oh, I don't really like them. You know, he's not a fan of them. But they're the kind of shooters that let you in. They let you in for like a couple of levels, and then they go balls hard. Anyway, Sun 2. Like Monkey, is it Monkey Magic? Legend of the Monkey King. Side-scrolling platformer. The awesome. Got his bloody sticker left on it. the awesome Splatterhouse, which I didn't have and I had to get it. Again, a Craig's here again. Purchase. Off of Japanese Scottish Allen, Don Doki Don. Very much akin to a single screen. Snow Brothers. Bubble Bobble-esque type game. New Zealand story, needs no introductions. One of them absolutely amazing title that is. And Populous. So I can't remember why or how. Again, it might have been a cheap one, but something in the back of my mind says someone had mentioned that this is actually plays in English. The text is in English. I actually do have a PC Engine mouse as well. I mean, the card on this is this is. Everyone talks about Street Fighter. No one talks about Populous in terms of the thickness of the card. That is exactly the same as Street Fighter. But no one talks about poor old Populous. I love this on the Amiga. I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. You just want to cause death and destruction everywhere you go. Another shooter. Mr. Heli. I want to say that was an arcade game. Irem. It was Irem, wasn't it? Yeah. I'm sure that's an arcade game. An absolute dog of a game. I bought it anyway. It was shit on the Mega Drive. I don't recall it in the arcades, but it's shit anyway. It's Rastan 2, or Rastan Saga 2. An absolute belter here. One of the very few HuCards that I said screenshots on the back. And this is Air Zonk. It is Air Zonk, isn't it? Or PC Genjin Kid. Cyberpunks. Yeah, PC Genjin. You can see a little PC kid up there, look. But yeah, side-scrolling shooter. Rock On Tommy. Another shooter, never played it. I'm sure this is another Wonder Boy game. I think this might be Dragon's Trap. And the other one was Monster World. This is a fantastic game. This doesn't get talked about enough, and I remember this in the arcades, and I can't remember who I bought this from. This was a Tubo. He had a fantastic collection, like import stuff. Sold up ages ago, and I managed to bag this off of him, and a couple of other things. One or two things I missed out on. I didn't have the funds, but really glad I got this, and it's telling because it's actually got 4 meg on here. It's a 4 meg HuCard. I don't know what Street Fighter was or Populous, but this one says 4 meg on it. Legend of Hero Tomna. So this is an arcade game. Really good little side-scrolling platformer. I don't want to say it's like Hammer and Harry, but it's a little bit like Hammer and Harry, but set in like a Willow universe. Shooter, Dragon Spirit. So you've seen that one, the loose cards. R-Type 2. We discussed R-Type. Cybercore, another shooter. We have got the mighty PC Kid 2. Or Bonk's Adventure 2. That's from the Scottish Allen. Don't call it Galaga. Gallagher 88. Why do people call it Galaga? Cyber Knight. I think that might be a mech side-scrolling shooter. Could be wrong. What else have we got here? Was it Prodigy Star? Again, one of the few ones that have screenshots for the HuCards. I'm not sure if these are later. Someone who's got a bit more knowledge than I have. I've got a feeling these were later releases, you know, in terms of HuCards, when they started putting screenshots on the back. Because, like I say, look, if I show thee, they're actually different because they're more CD rather than. But anyway, Operation Wolf. Not a bad port. Not a bad one. Psycho Chaser. I don't know. I think it might be a shooter or a side-scrolling mech. They love the mechs. I have no idea what this fucking thing is. Baseball cack. A good little port. This actually is Pac-Land. I like this one. Volfeed or Kicks or Quicks. I like this in the arcades. I like this on the Amiga. The Amiga one had some right well dodgy ports, you know, like the old, I think the Japanese have got dodgy ports as well, like porno ones where you can cover naked women and stuff. And I think still a really, really good port. Not a patch, I think second only to the Sega Saturn one on the Sega Ages compilation, is the mighty Outrun. And for a HuCard, what a fucking game. So, there you have it. Probably more for me than it is for you, because I say I do tend to sort of start querying what I haven't got, so it's nice to have this to refer back to. It's only going to grow. Even with the imminent release of the Mini, and again, depending on when you watch this, there could be revision 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the collection. This is, I'm going to call this revision 1. We're going to baseline it out here. But even when it comes out, I'm still buying these games. I just love owning them. Absolutely amazing system. Take it easy, YouTube, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.